And I am back. Hopefully, I get Karis to join now. Just waiting for her to be part of the live. Hi, Cheruto. Wow, okay, let's see. Yes. Looks like just waiting for Karis to connect here. Um,
Oh, good.
Hi, Karis.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good. Wow. So today on my end is the last day of our official lockdown, hey? So from tomorrow, they are easing the restrictions and
Oh,
yeah, we'll finally not be confined to our houses. We can go outside.
I'm so happy for you, yet so jealous at the same time.
Yeah. Is your lockdown? I did hear that they're easing restrictions as well on your end.
Um,
What are you allowed to do now?
we haven't got like a proper date yet for when everything's gonna ease. They said it's going to, but we haven't got like a definite date of like from this date this is what's going to be happening. I think that's what they're working on at the moment.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so I think we can get right into the topic of travel. So I think, yeah, you can just tell everyone how you started your travel blog and how you kind of got into the traveling.
So I've been traveling since I was a little girl, you know, going with my parents on holiday, and then when I got a bit older, instead of going to university, I did an apprenticeship. But then a lot of my friends that were doing the apprenticeship, going to university, when they came home at like the holidays, they would go like traveling with each other and with like their new university mates, and I was kind of left out of that and a wee bit jealous. So
Yeah.
I decided that I was going to do some solo traveling, and I went to Vietnam for 3 weeks to teach English. Um, it wasn't the original plan. I was meant to go to Kenya to teach women about Microsoft like Word and Excel to help them start their own businesses, but due to the horrible event that happened with the gunmen in the mall, my plan then changed for Vietnam, and I've just been traveling as much as I can, as often as I can ever since. I only started up my travel blog on Instagram in January. And it was actually my granddad's friend's idea. So every time I go to visit my granddad, she sees my car on the drive and she comes around and she wants to know, you know, where have I been lately? What have I been up to? What's the next plans? What have I got going to plan to do there? Like she loves coming over to hear about all the like adventures I've been up to and things like that. And she says, "Oh, you should write a book about all the places you've been to." And I'm like, I haven't got time for a book, and I don't think anyone would want to read it. But you know, I've got time for Instagram, so you know, it's the next best thing.
Yeah, no, I think the whole thing with travel blogs in general, or traveling, I think people always want to know when I get to a place, where do I go? That's kind of I think I was mentioning to you yesterday that that part of my fear of planning my own trip is I don't know where to start because it's a foreign place. You don't know what safety challenges there are. You
Yeah,
don't know what you do when you get there. Yeah, but I think then on that point we can kind of touch on safety when you
yeah.
plan these trips. How do you make sure that you find yourself in the right place?
Um, I'm definitely a planner when it comes to trips. I like lists. I like things like very thorough written instructions of where I'm going. When I, for example, like when I arrive at the airport, I write down in advance how I'm going to get to my accommodation, things like that. If I need to take like public transport, I write down, you know, bus numbers, things like that. If it needs to be a taxi, I write down the name of like reputable companies to look out for at the airport to make sure that I'm not getting in like an unlicensed taxi or things like that. So to make sure that I always get to my destination safely, I plan well in advance. I mean, when I went to Japan, I used Google Maps on Street View to literally walk the route from the train station to the apartment, so I knew exactly where we were going. And my husband was just shocked and amazed. We arrived in this foreign country after traveling for like 36 hours, and I walked straight to the front door, and he was just like, how is that possible? So that's something I think is always really good in advance, to have a very clear idea of where you're going. Some other safety things bearing in mind is that when I'm out and about, like in a city, for example, if I've got like a rucksack on, I usually will padlock that rucksack shut. Touch wood, nothing bad has ever happened, but I know of people that have been pickpocketed, and it's just something I don't want to give them the opportunity, so I put like a big really obvious padlock across the zip, so you know nobody's getting into that thing easily.
Yeah.
I have like a bag that I wear under my clothes that I can fit in like my, you know, my phone, my passport, a bit of money, so that way nobody's going to access that particularly easily. I always make sure that if I'm stopping in a hostel that I've brought spare padlocks with me for the lockers, because generally the lockers are ones where you have to put your own padlock on, and quite often I will keep like some of the valuables, I keep them with me at all times. And when I sleep at night, I quite often will like put them under my pillow or put them in a bag and put the bag like around my feet or something, just so that I know where things are and I know that they're safe. Or I will just padlock things into my luggage so that nobody can get to it. And I mean, people are generally quite friendly when I've been travel, but I have been scammed a couple of times in Cuba, especially. It's just being British, you've got the kind of stereotypes that we're really polite. I don't like saying no to people, but sometimes when you travel, it's not about being rude. It's just about kind of getting an idea when someone's not being 100%, you know, genuine with you, and just saying, you know, no, thank you, I'm not interested, and then just walk away, rather than getting scammed like I did twice.
That is true. People trying to sell you things that you don't want.
Yeah.
I like the tip about the keeping your passport with you at all times, because I think I have heard of horror stories where people's passports and valuables get stolen even at their hotel.
So
and it's important to.
This is something I've had experience with fairly recently. So in December, I went on a group holiday to Berlin to see the Christmas markets. I went with my husband, my brother, and one of my best friends, and I had hold of my husband's and my brother's passport on my bag, and when I walk around with my bag, I've got it on like a shoulder strap, and I have my arm across my bag, so you know nobody's getting in that thing. But my friend had his passport just in his pocket, and on the first day, within a matter of hours of arriving, had actually had it stolen. And he didn't get that back. And the amount of effort that it took to get him a new passport, he ended up not being able to fly home with us. We wasted hours of the trip having to go to the police and the consulate and the embassy and all this. And then he had to fly from a different airport to a different airport, and then his sister had to drive like 70 miles to come and pick him up from London, which is nowhere near where we live. And it was a massive ordeal. Like, so always make sure you know where your passport is when you're traveling.
And then another one that's happened to my family quite a bit is losing baggage.
No.
Or even having baggage opened. So kind of how do you kind of deal with keeping your baggage safe? I think lately I've personally taken to always having a padlock and trying to get bags wrapped. Don't know what your suggestions are.
I've only ever had one bag go missing, and I ended up getting it back, but that was the airline's flight, not mine. I was working in Germany like 7, 8 years ago, and there were 6 of us on the flight, and they still lost my suitcase. Would you believe it? But I described it all, and they put it on the next flight home to me. It was still sitting at the airport in Frankfurt. They hadn't actually boarded it onto the plane. Not like they had to count many suitcases on with only 6 of us, but there we go. And they did get it back to me. Other than that, I just like keeping an eye on your bag, because people can walk off with things like so easily, so quickly. It just takes, you know, seconds of you being distracted for somebody to take something. So just being very aware of your belongings and your surroundings, you know, who's around you, and of course, if it's valuable, you do not want it on show. You want it to be locked up. Like, for example, I've got a handy little thing that I take with me, especially when I'm going somewhere warm, because it's more obvious. I've got a fake suntan lotion bottle that I got from like Home Bargains or B&M for like £2, and the bottom just like pops out, and inside it's big enough to put, you know, your passport and your travel money. So what I do is I generally will put stuff in this, and then I'll wrap that up in my clothes as well, so that even if someone happened to find this thing, they're going to look at it and think, oh, it's just suntan lotion. Like, they're not going to, unless they've like really inspected, they're not going to know like stuff's hidden in it. So there's lots of other things like that you can get to, like, you know, hide things in, which I think are quite a good thing.
All right. No, I think that's in our situation, it's just unlucky. I think my dad has lost, or they don't really lose it per se, but for whatever reason, when you get off at the airport and you're now collecting baggage, it's just not there. And I think it's happened to him like 3 times now.
That's so unlucky.
Different airlines as well. So yeah, it's quite a I'm not sure if it's that he's I don't even know why it would happen.
I mean, something else that I always do, because I'm aware of the fact that, like, if you've got a certain coloured suitcase, other people will likely have a very similar one. I use like luggage tags, or you know, the big luggage straps that you can put around the suitcase, just like something to identify the luggage. Because we had a situation once we were at the airport, and somebody tried to walk off with my husband's bag, because it was basically identical to theirs, and I had to run after and be like, no, you've got our bag, we've got your bag. I only realised because I saw that it had like this luggage tag on that I put on. I was like, no, this is yours, this is ours, give it back. But like, easily we could have lost it then, especially with like shops like Primark, for example, with the like cheap luggage. That's where my latest luggage has come from. Other people will inevitably have the same as me, so you always have to do something to make it, you know, stand out as yours, to make sure that it doesn't get taken by accident.
Okay, on to travel insurance now. I think maybe you can just, like, personally, I was offered travel insurance on my last trip, and I just did not take it seriously. I was kind of like, what's this now? So maybe, yeah, I think it's also a learning process for me. What is travel insurance? Why should I take it?
So travel insurance, a lot of people don't seem to know or think that it's important, but it's actually really, really important. So just like you'd insure, you know, your car or your house or other things like that, it's to cover you in the event that something happens. Now, something happens is quite a broad statement. So that could be something like your bags have gone missing at the airport, for example, like we were just talking about, or your flight's been cancelled and now you can't get home and you can't afford any accommodation. It's things like that. Or if it's something more of like a medical nature, like you've fallen down a flight of stairs and you've broken your ankle, and the medical bill's horrific because you're in a country where just medical bills are very expensive, like America, for example. And it's travel insurance is the kind of thing that will then cover that cost, so that you might have to pay out initially, potentially, but then you can reclaim that cost. And in fact, some countries, I can't name any off the top of my head, but some countries actually specifically say that you aren't allowed to travel there without travel insurance. That's how important and serious it is.
Okay. Okay. One thing that you touched on there is that, or I read it somewhere, is the flight cancellation.
Yeah.
That is the very, I found myself in that situation very recently. I missed the flight actually. So in that instance where I missed the flight, will I be able to claim that back from, because I was standing at the airport before the plane took off. It's just that I missed the check-in time. Will I be able to get that back from insurance?
I can't say for definite, because it depends on what's in the terms and conditions of your insurance. So that's something that's really important when you're buying insurance, is that you've got to know what it covers you for and what it doesn't. Because insurance companies love to put these little things in little tiny writing at the bottom, which says that, you know, we actually don't cover you for this. So it's the kind of thing that before you buy it, you need to read it to make sure that it's covering you for what you need. And then read the policy documents after you bought it, just so you've got a really clear idea of, you know, what is covered and what isn't. So, for example, if you were to do something like more of an extreme sport, like say you were going to go deep sea diving, most standard travel insurance will not cover you for that if something were to happen. So you need to get a second, like, specialist insurance just to cover you for that activity. Like, you can get scuba diving insurance, or skiing, that's another one. Like, you would need specialist insurance just to make sure that you're absolutely covered. Or, I mean, if you're intending on going scuba diving, but you're not going to be going very deep, then some standard insurance may be enough. For example, like, I've gotten away before with just some standard travel insurance that would cover me to a certain depth of diving, because I'm a scuba diver, and that's been enough. But if I've wanted to do, like when I was doing my deep diver course to qualify me down to 40 meters, I had to get specialist insurance to cover me for that activity.
So basically, what determines, or what will help me decide what kind of or way to get my travel insurance is kind of, where am I going and what am I going to be doing on this trip?
Yeah, I mean, some people's bank accounts will come with travel insurance as standard. Mine now does. But before, I had it just included and I had to go out and look for it and renew it myself every year. I would always use something like comparethemarket.com or Travel Supermarket, things like that. And you can put in things like, you know, how long are you going for? Where are you going on it? Are you going to go on a cruise? Are you planning on doing something like skiing? Because you can get travel insurance that lasts for just do one trip, or you can get it that lasts for a whole year. You can get it for like kind of one continent, or you can get it worldwide. I always like to get the whole year worldwide cover, just because if I didn't know where I was going to be traveling that year, then it would make sure that if I then booked travel, then I was just covered for it. You can also get like joint insurance, which is quite often cheaper if you've not got a medical condition and neither has your partner. If you get like joint travel insurance, it works out cheaper than buying two lots of individual insurance. So that's quite a handy thing.
And then I wanted to ask as well about the, like say I do a round trip, for example, will the travel insurance then cover me in all the countries that I go to, or do I need to get what notification must I give them to say, okay, now I've changed locations?
So if you've booked travel insurance and you've specified at the time of booking it is for you to travel on this one trip to this one country, and then you decide that you're going to somewhere else, you would then have to buy a second lot of travel insurance. But if you were to get, for example, like worldwide travel insurance, then that's it for the year. You are covered then, no matter where you go. I mean, there's often limits of like a maximum of, I think it's like 30 to 60 days. It depends on your insurance provider, you know, all these sneaky terms and conditions, the kind of things that you have to read, you know, before making a purchase to make sure it is right for you and what you want to do with it. But I would always advise going for at least worldwide if you're planning on going on a few trips, but like a yearly one rather if you're going on a few trips.
Mm. I think for me that's my fear with insurance. In fact, not just travel insurance, most insurances is the terms and conditions, because normally they tend to come with a lot of like you have to be very, very sure it's covering what you need. And then just as a last question, in terms of getting travel insurance from, because normally you can get it from the airline, you can get it from the travel agent, you can get it, I think, from normal insurance firms. Um, do you have any preference or
Um,
advice on which is the better one?
I personally would not buy it from an airline or like a travel agent or a bank, because I have found them to be a lot more expensive for basically the same product. I always would use a comparison site, because then you can clearly see the difference between the different insurances, and also comparison sites will also give the insurance, I think they call it a de facto rating, so it's a rating out of 5 stars showing basically how good the travel insurance is and
Yeah.
how often they'll pay out. So I find that if you use a comparison site, it's easy to find this kind of information, so it helps you make a decision a lot better, and it also
Yeah.
saves you a lot of money. Like, I think one of the last times that I bought worldwide travel insurance, I think it cost me about £30 for the year. In comparison, my bank wanted to charge me double that for the same insurance for the same length of time. So
Yeah.
always shop around, because there's often cheaper deals to be found.
Yeah. True. True. Okay. I think that pretty much covers travel insurance. So any particular destination or city that you um well, that's your favorite, that you enjoyed the most?
Oh, that's a tough question, because I'm on a mission to go to 50 countries before I'm 30, and I'm 27, so I've got 3 years left, and I've currently been to 35, and
Yeah.
coronavirus has put a bit of a dampener on some of my plans at the moment. So a lot of things have been postponed, but out of where I've been to, Mexico was the most surprising. I didn't expect to like it as much, and I didn't expect to like the food as much, but I really, really enjoyed it, especially because my birthday is the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So it was like a massive big birthday party for me, because Halloween being my favourite like holiday of the year, so that was great. Japan was just stunningly beautiful. That trip I planned for 4.5 years before I went on it. I collect Japanese kimono, and I love anime, and I'm basically a Japanophile. I love Japan, so that was like a dream come true. And New Zealand, that I went to just in September. I've got family there, and obviously from the UK, that's as far away as I can get from home. And I really, really love Lord of the Rings. So visiting New Zealand and getting to go to Hobbiton, the filming location for where all the hobbits live from Lord of the Rings, was just amazing. And getting to see some family that I haven't seen for, I think we worked out it was like 14 years that I hadn't seen them for. So that was, really nice. And New Zealand's just such an amazing country. It's just so beautiful. It's just ridiculous.
Good. Oh wow. Okay. I must say I never considered New Zealand as a destination.
Oh
Always
no,
think
you
of
have.
Australia, but never New Zealand. So yeah, I think that would be one to plan. Japan, I watched the series very recently and it looks epic.
Oh,
So I actually really want to go to Japan. Um, yeah, I think generally so many places to go to, and Yeah, I think it's literally just like you said, it took you quite a while to plan some of these trips, and I think that's what it takes, really, patience and saving and
A
yeah,
lot of patience.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. No, I think that concludes all my questions, and definitely I'd like to have you back, and probably we talk about budgeting
Oh,
for
I can talk about budgeting
things.
all day.
Yeah. I have horror stories as well about budgeting. But I was mentioning to you yesterday the Mozambique trip. Yeah,
Oh,
that budget went very left. My
oh, well,
dad has he's
I've had
holding
some
that over
budgeting
me.
horror stories as well. I have got some stories to tell about that.
Yeah, yeah. No, so I think definitely we shall do this again. Thank you very much for sharing. Where can everybody see your travel blog and find you?
So at the moment, I'm only on Instagram, travel wise. So I'm Goth Girl Travels. But I am working on. I have just finished learning how to code a splash page, so hopefully, not too long, a website might be coming soon. Ooh.
Hey, awesome stuff. Yeah, so then all your tips and tricks will be available for us
That's the general
to
idea,
do.
along with some travel guides, and soon you will also be able to catch some of my travel blogs on lastminuteitinerary.com and lostloveadventures.com, for which I am guest writer on both of those websites. So soon
Lovely.
you'll be able to find some more helpful hints and tips for traveling and some travel guides to particular destinations.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Keris. Keep well, and we'll definitely do another session again soon.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, cool. Bye.
Bye.